Before I continue with readings, I did want to bring up a point that I thought was important to talk about. Obviously, there have been many tragedies across the world that have occurred most recently. I don't typically talk about those things. It doesn't mean that I'm not thinking of them or I'm not impacted in some way. I did, for the first time, choose to talk about one of those horrible occurrences, and that was the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I just found it interesting that across platforms, not only on mine, but on others who have posted their thoughts and feelings on this tragedy and just talking through their grieving, I find it interesting that people will go on a post like that and say something to the effect of, well, I'm surprised that no one has mentioned the victims of 9/11. Why are we not remembering them? Why are we not talking about the incident with that woman on the train? And on and on and on. And it upsets me because just because I chose to talk about Charlie doesn't mean I don't care about the other tragedies in the world. I chose to speak about Charlie because I felt very connected to him, his mission. But that in no way implies that I don't care about anything else, about any other tragedies, about any other people. And anybody that knows me as a person would know I do very much care. And so I can't help but think it just brings me back to some of Charlie's points. When he would debate on campus with students, it's amazing to me how many students would take one of his points and skew it or make it. They would skew the point in a way that was not his intention. So if Charlie had a point about something, they would take it and put some sort of a negative twist on it to make it mean something other than what he truly meant. And I guess that's my point here, is do not take people going online and sharing in their grief about Charlie to mean that they don't care about anyone else. Like, that's a ridiculous inference to make. And that's exactly what used to happen to Charlie every time he would go on campus. There would be people that could not argue his point, could not argue his truth. So what did they resort to? Violence? Name calling? Or they would take something he said and twist it. And they knew full well what they were doing, but it was the only way that they could try to somehow validate their point over his. And so that's the other thing I wonder. Like, why the chip on people's shoulder? Why, when people are going online talking through their grief about Charlie Kirk because they feel a certain type of way, because they feel connected to him, why does that equate right away to you don't care about anybody else? Who said that? And why would you think that? Why would that be your first thought? So, again, like, that is what I think creates the division. Creates animosity where there shouldn't be any. I don't know if I'll post this, but I am feeling convicted about it. So, and you're welcome to disagree with me. That's okay. I have plenty of people in my life who I love, who we don't share the same beliefs, but you know what? I love and respect them regardless. What happened to that? What happened to loving and respecting people and even respecting our differences of opinion? And I'll say right now, I don't agree with everything Charlie said, but I respect him as a person, and I know he's a good man, and I understand his intention. And there is nothing in his intention that I can find that is wrong. I may not agree on some points, but I understand what he was trying to achieve.